Okay, you're at the Watchmen Way, March 11th, 2020. Tomorrow is the 1 year anniversary of my hemorrhagic stroke. Wouldn't it be fitting if Obama got arrested tomorrow? Best present I could have. Gonna be awesome. Um, that's coming from the Anons, based on some of the Q drops. Uh, it's looking like it might be true. Um, if it doesn't happen tomorrow, it's going to happen soon. But if we're really talking about the timeline that they laid out, which basically said um, Obama goes down on the 12th, gold back currency on the 30th, they would institute quarantines towards the end of the month, then a few days later, uh, go to martial law. This is happening to cover the economic collapse and the swamp draining. I said over a year ago that if we collapse the economy, gave it a week, nobody would complain about Obama being arrested, especially when they saw the charges. That's how it's going to play out, it looks like. Whether he gets arrested tomorrow or next week, it looks like the economy's going down first. Well, look at it. Down another 1,465 points today. This is over, guys. The volatility you see in these 1,000-point swings, 1,500-point, 2,000-point swings, 1,200-point swings, day to day. Go back and look at history. Same thing happened in 29. Same thing happened in 87. I think 09 too. The bond market, inversion of the bond market. Every time it's happened, there's been a recession or collapse. We're talking collapse here, guys. This is going to be... I was just talking to somebody about this today. Everybody talks about the 1929, the Great Depression. It's nothing compared to this. You have to look at these things in context. In 1929, the world was a totally different place. There were no worldwide banks, really. Banking was in its infancy, really, especially when you talk about the corruption and the manipulation. In 29, only 30% of the American population was impacted. Only 30%. Around the world, it was less than 5% was impacted. This collapse, the first ever worldwide economic collapse, if you live in a first world country, you are going to be impacted. You're going to lose something. You're going to lose your stocks, your bonds, money markets, annuities, pension funds, 401ks, retirement accounts, all going to zero. The only way to protect you is what God showed me. Assets outside the system. God showed me physical silver and Litecoin, not gold, not Bitcoin. Gold and Bitcoin are going to do great, but they're not going to do anywhere near as good as physical silver and Litecoin. Physical silver can outperform gold 8 times minimum. I think physical silver within 10 years will surpass gold in price. It's going to be driven by new technology that's going to be hugely popular and require great amounts of silver. Going to drive it through the roof. We're talking about rejuvenative therapy. You'll pretty crazy stuff, but you can imagine if they made a machine that could make you look 20 or 30 years younger, actually make your body 20 or 30 years younger? Do you think that would be a popular item? Do you think people would maybe want to pay for that? It's coming, and it requires large amounts of physical silver to operate. What's coming, guys, is amazing. When you put it all together, when you look at all this happening, greatest transfer of wealth in human history, man's greatest accomplishment, man's greatest stage, 1,000 years of peace and prosperity, plus, cure for virtually every ailment known to mankind, 0-point energy, anti-gravity technology, flying cars. Probably within 5 years they'll be in the skies. That's why they're not worried about the infrastructure, guys, the roads, because we won't need them. If you left Earth today and came back in 5 years, you would think you were not on an alien planet. That's how different it's going to be in 5 years. Grab your popcorn. It's going to be a great ride, guys. There's nothing to fear here. Despite all the virus, all the hype, all the whining and crying, you've got different elements that want different things around the world. All I care about is, what does it mean to you and me? What does it mean to the average person on the streets? And what it means is heaven on earth. That's what it means. Especially for the people who are prepared. If you don't see today, Dow down 1,465 points, down over 2,000 a couple of days ago, up, 1,200 yesterday? This is happening, guys. Your cognitive dissonance isn't going to stop it. It's only going to get in your way. Your cognitive dissonance is only going to hurt you. You have to fight to stay cognitive, to stay lucid, to stay aware of what's going on. You do that by educating yourself, by red pilling yourself. You got to question everything. You got to use your discernment, use your critical thinking skills. No matter what it comes to, the economy, the Bible, religion, government. There's still time. I never would have believed this. That they're talking about taking down Obama tomorrow, which would obviously accelerate this financial collapse. But look at the prices. We're this close. Obama goes down tomorrow, and this economy's done before the end of the month. That 30th date, March 30th, for the gold-backed currency, would fall in perfectly if Obama goes down tomorrow. What are you waiting for? Your bank account should be empty. $100 maybe, or whatever you need to cover your bills. And everything else should be in physical silver and Litecoin. If you don't do this, you're going to regret it for the rest of your life. Every available dime that you have should be going in to your prepping. Extra food, extra water, medical supplies, ammo, physical silver, and Litecoin. Those are the basics. God showed me physical silver and Litecoin. You're slapping God in the face if you're going to buy Bitcoin or Digibyte or Theta. Listen, I think Digibyte and Theta are probably going to be pretty good, but they're not going to be Litecoin. I don't have a penny into anything else except for Litecoin. I've got a tiny bit that I saved of a Bitcoin and a tiny bit, less than one, probably less than a tenth of Bitcoin and Ethereum. It's all in Litecoin and silver, guys. It's not just that God showed me this. It's that I've had over 25,000 hours of research in over the last 5 years. I've been doing this 16 hours a day, 7 days a week. every hour of that homework, that research, has pointed me to exactly where God pointed me to. Physical silver and Litecoin. It's a no-brainer. I know probably most of you don't understand it. It's not relevant. You don't need to understand it to make a lot of money off of it. All you need to know is it's going to go up in value. Some analysts say $3 million a piece for Litecoin in 4 years. It's $50. 40, what is it? 48.71 tonight, Litecoin. 48.71. 3 million in 4 years? Why isn't your bank account empty? Even if you only take 10% of your assets, of what you have invested, for most people, well, I shouldn't say that, because unfortunately, most people's investments have been eaten up over the last 10 years, just trying to save their houses and their cars when the economy is drying up around the world. Look at the homelessness. I mean, that's if you know your community at all, and then you drive around today compared to just even 2 years ago. I was amazed a couple of weeks ago. A couple of towns in California, which is supposed to be, better off than most parts of the world. And it was amazing to see the scope. And then I have to tell you, I was ashamed that our society could do this to people. The homelessness is one thing, but it's the mental illness that really sticks with me. It's got to be 25, 30, 40% of the homeless are mentally ill, and because of budget cuts, we just turned them out in the streets. It's almost human rights violations in my mind. How you can do that? How many of these people died on the streets because of neglect, because they couldn't take care of themselves, and the system knew exactly what they were doing? It's hard to call ourselves a civilized society. You can bet that crap's not going to happen once President Trump gets 100% control of what's going on. He kind of had to play the hand he was dealt. And he's done an amazing job. You can't knock anything he's done. If you do, you're ignorant of what's really going on. And I can show you where you're ignorant if you tell me where you want to criticize him. I made the mistake early on. Now, I've never criticized President Trump. Never. Never will. There was a couple of times early on where in the back of my mind I was thinking, oh my, this might be a mistake. Kept it to myself. 2 weeks later, boom. It was the exact right thing to do. I couldn't see it because I didn't have the information that he has. When it all played out, he made the perfect move. That's happened 4 or 5 times in the last 3 years. You can't find fault with anything he's done. He's played this brilliantly. It's why I believe we're not going to see worst case scenario in America when we go to this economic collapse. The countries that have to worry are the countries that are run by the globalists. Here we're good. We're going to get by this better than anybody. Here's old Mikey. Brewer Ranch. It's all good, guys. There's nothing to worry about. This is the greatest opportunity in history. The greatest financial opportunity in history is right now. Take advantage of it. Greatest transfer of wealth in human history. Coming right now. Just think about it. Pay $50 for Litecoin today and cash it in 3 years for $3 million. 4 years, excuse me. 2024. is what they're calling for. I think that number's conservative. Listen, cryptocurrencies are the future of money. Cryptocurrencies make banks obsolete. At a time when no one's going to want to put their money in a bank. Just wait till you see what happens over the next 6 months. They're going belly up. You're going to lose your deposits. Take that money and put it into silver and Litecoin. Take advantage of this gift from God. That we are at the end here. And Litecoin is under 50. And silver's under 18. Under 17. It's crazy. Shouldn't be happening. Got the water truck going. Got the team roping tonight. Got to water down the arena. After it rained almost all day Sunday. But it was really needed here. The ground was pretty dry. Anyway, back to my notes. Stocks puke into bear market as U.S. financial conditions crash most since Lehman. China issues warning to Tesla after customers complain about hardware bait and switch. Tesla's in big trouble. You know, I never could understand. How do you explain Tesla? They've never made a profit, right? I mean, last I checked, Tesla has never made a profit, and their stocks are through the roof. How come? It's all smoke and mirrors. It's all hype. Get rid of your Tesla stock. Get rid of all your stock. You shouldn't be in the stock market right now. You got stock, sell it. Don't listen to these clowns who are trying to tell you to buy the dip. This thing is dipped out. It's over. This rigged market is over. Get your money out and get it into assets outside the system. Assets outside the system mean physical silver and Litecoin. NCAA March Madness. You know this is huge. They're probably going to play the NCAA tournament in front of 0 fans. Not going to let anybody in because of the virus. What do we have? A couple of thousand cases in America? And look what they're doing. You know what kind of signal this sends? Because people don't know anything about the economy in America. They're complete morons about the economy. But you want to talk sports? They'll out-talk anybody in the world. This is huge in America. People see, wait a minute, they're not letting fans in to watch the March Madness? Trust me, they're going to understand the impact here. They're going to understand the intended impact. It's totally overblown. We know that. But it's it's doing the job they wanted it to do. Right? The panic is hysterical. People running around like their hair's on fire. Crazy. For the flu. The flu this year, pencil it out. When you look at the numbers, it's actually more dangerous than the virus is. The common flu. What are you waiting for? You shouldn't be waiting to get your silver, get your Litecoin, get your food, get your water, medical supplies and ammo. You should not be waiting. There's no reason to wait. Waiting, what does it accomplish? You know, you're just putting your family in a more dangerous situation. And again, I do not think this is going to go worst case. But there still could be civil unrest. There still could be some limited rioting and looting. We prepare for the worst and we hope for the best. And I believe that we're going to get the best. Don't use that as an excuse not to do anything. That's a fool's move. You can always eat the food later. The silver and the Litecoin are going to be great investments, whether nothing happens or not. But Something's happening, guys, and it can't be stopped. Oh boy, everyone's dumping treasury bonds. Lending is freezing up. IRS may delay the April 15th tax deadline. You don't think this is serious? Liquidity getting worse by the day. I've been telling you the liquidity is drying up. Liquidity dries up. Credit dries up. Well, it's already happened. I'll get here in a second. The supply chains are broken when that happens. They're already broken. They're already seeing problems in the supply chains. Record, the Fed injects record 132 billion with overnight repos last night. 132 billion. In '08, to bail the whole system out, they only put in 700. I think they've got over $1 trillion now. Since January, they only did 700,000 in '08. They've got, I think, total now over $1 trillion in this thing, dumped in. With no authorization. It's going down, guys. Before I forget, we need more volunteers. We've got a mentor program going now for people who are interested, who we want to get people ready to help counsel people as we go through this process. So if you've got expertise in cryptocurrencies, the economy, spiritually, you know what we're talking about with the way. The Catholic Church is going down this year. The Pope's going to resign. The Catholic Church is coming down from the inside. God wants the way, as most of you know if you've been here now. About 8 weeks ago, God came to me again and asked me and the Watchmen to lead the revival of God's church, the way. The church that Jesus taught 2,000 years ago. The purest religion on earth. God's showing me that the way will be the biggest religion in the world in 20 years. It's coming at the perfect time when people are starved for something like this. And at the same time, we're removing 90% of the evil in the world. When we get rid of the swamp, and it's going down now too, guys. The swamp, the satanic pedophiles are all going down. So 90% of the evil in the world is removed at the same time that the way is exploding across the world. What kind of world are we going to have? The way, tell the truth every time. Do the right thing every time. Live your life in the service of others. No priest, no pope, no hierarchy, no way for the elites to control it. That's why the elites never adopted it. We'd have the way today. We should have the way today. It should already be the biggest religion in the world. But the elites ignored it because they couldn't control it. They needed the hierarchy. They needed the donations going into a central location. With the way, I as a donor take my donations and put it in the hands of the needy. With no middleman. Think about it. It's the way it should be. How much do all of these organizations that claim to be humanitarian, and they take 90%? Really? The Clinton Foundation, I think, took more than that. 94, 95% is what the Clinton Foundation took. And never went through an audit in all the years they were around. This is a real deal, guys. But anyway, anyone who would like to help out, and this is all part of it, guys. You want to be a better person, you want to lead a better life, you're at the right place, and this is your opportunity. Get a hold of Lisa or Danielle, please, if you're interested in this program. You can message me also. We want to kind of get a list going and get you hooked up with a mentor so we can get everybody ready for this, because I spent hours today on the phone, on the computer, talking to people, and I still had. I mean, I had to leave. I had to get ready for the show. So we definitely need more help, guys. And just think, this hasn't even really started yet. Wait until they can't deny it anymore. Right now, people are still kind of saying, well, what's going to happen? We know what's going to happen. We need to be ahead of the game. So anybody that's willing to, a few hours a week, whatever it is, please let us know. We need to get this started. Zero Hedge. POTUS has no plan for the virus. No, he doesn't. He wants the economy to come down. What else? What do you want me to say? Yeah, there's no plan. It's the flu. The plan is to take the economy down with it. I think China, Russia, and America, I think, are working together on all this. On the virus, on the gold-backed currencies, on the reset, on the economic collapse. I think everybody's working together now. Oh boy. Yeah, this thing it's engineered, guys. This is happening. Just look, do you really, everybody now, I think, realizes this is all hype. There's nothing to this virus. You can see it, and knowing that there's nothing to it, and seeing everyone screaming bloody murder, how horrible this thing is, should make you realize what the whole purpose is. The purpose is to bring down the economy. That's the whole purpose of the virus. There's been 3 or 4 things worse in the last couple of years that are much worse than the virus as far as the numbers go. But they put the emphasis on this, and look what's happening with the hype. The people are falling for it like crazy. OPEC. They're predicting a 94% reduction in oil demand. What do you think that's going to do to the oil industry? It's over, guys. You got oil stocks? Sell them. And think about Zero Point Energy. Zero Point Energy is the end of oil. You know about Zero Point Energy? You still own oil stocks? You're getting what you deserve. You're going to lose everything. Dump it. Refinances explode higher as rates hit record lows. Market roller coaster continues or returns. Futures crash as stimulus hope fade. I didn't even get, before I came in or out to do the chat, how bad it's down. Lisa, would you look that up? How bad is are the future markets down tonight? I saw one post that said it was, well, like here, they're crashing again. Anyway, they're crashing as the stimulus hope fades. It's not going to happen. President Trump's not going to bail them out. Christine Lagarde, warns European economy faces 208 style downturn, and they have no plan. You know why they don't have a plan? Because they're out of ammunition. All the reserves have been eaten up the last 12 years. They got nothing left to fight this with. There's no hope, guys. That's a good thing. Buy your Litecoin and silver. Buy your food and water. Ride this thing out. It's going to be an awesome party. Double whammy of shocks as company face the virus impacts plus supply chain disruptions. I talked about this yesterday. Everybody's thinking, well, it's just China. I don't buy anything from China. The problem now is It's not just the products that China produces. It's the parts China produces for other factories around the world to put their products together. Well, guess what? Those other factories around the world haven't been getting their parts from China. And now factories around the world are closing. It's a domino effect. This is over, guys. I said it 2 weeks ago. It was too late 2 weeks ago. You can't shut China down for a month. And it's been shut down over 6 weeks now. Basically zero GDP. A ghost town. Shut down. So that we would get this effect. The Chinese are warriors. They don't fold like this. For the flu? Are you kidding me? They did this because they maybe have the most to gain. Because they were going to take the biggest hit on this. China, saving face to China is the most important thing. It's more important than profits to them. Saving face, their honor. That's what this was all about. They didn't want to get blamed for their poor economic policies being responsible for bringing down the worldwide economy. So they allowed the virus to happen there so the world can blame the collapse on the virus. That's how it's going to play out. We're all going to know the truth. It doesn't make any difference. It was coming down. It was a mathematical certainty. They're trying to do a control drop here. Then they ease in the reset. It's a beautiful plan. It's going to get us through this with the least amount of damage. It's brilliant. Again, like I've said, President Trump has been flawless. There's no reason to believe that he's not going to be flawless all the way through this, which means America's going to come out of this better than any other country in the world. Russia's probably going to be second. Thank God. Thank God for bringing us President Trump. The right man at the right time. Italy suspends mortgage payments. Italy, think about this. Italy suspends mortgage payments. Reset to come. Don't pay your credit cards down. I personally wouldn't make another mortgage payment. I wouldn't. I'd go at least 3 months. It's up to you guys. I mean, do what you want. I'd be taking that money and putting it into my Litecoin and silver stack. But, if you're more worried about your credit when the economy's collapsing, that's your choice. You do what you want. I know what I've been doing for the last couple of years. I was already doing this game, guys. I'll tell you the whole story later. But, yeah, if you knew this was coming, there were moves that you could make that could really enhance your profits. Okay. Reset is coming. Make a plan. Now's the time, guys. You got to have all this planned out. Where are your assets? Where are you going to be? You've got to start looking at. Everybody should have a bug out location. I don't think we're going to need it, but you need to be thinking about it. You can't wait till it blows up and then you're going to come up with a plan. That's a good way to get yourself killed. Think about this stuff now. So when it happens, you know what to do instead of panicking under pressure because you got to come up with a plan that you should have had months ago. That's putting your family in harm's way possibly because of your laziness, procrastination. Do you want to be responsible for that? I don't. Remember, it's not just prepared physically. Physically is the food, the water, the medical supplies, the ammo, the physical silver, the Litecoin. That's physically. Spiritually and mentally are probably more important. Mentally, this is the mental part of it. Having a plan. Understanding. There's no panic. There's no fear. And thinking through the scenarios. bug out locations, what you're going to do, what your group of people are going to do, how are you going to work your communications, where are you all going to meet if communications go down. All those things you need to be talking about now, guys. You can't wait until it happens, because when it happens, communications might go down. And then what are you going to do? What are you going to do if you can't call or text or email? You got to have a plan in place. So everybody, if A happens, we go here. If B happens, we go here. You got to think about the scenarios. Like here in California, if there's an earthquake in San Francisco, I'm going to react differently than if there's a tsunami coming from an earthquake in Japan that's going to hit the West Coast. Think about these things. Think about where you live. What could happen? Think of all the possibilities. You want to do it now. Trust me. You don't want to be doing it in the middle of it. It gets a lot harder to process, especially if you're not used to that pressure and operating under that pressure. Because trust me, if you wait, it's going to be the biggest pressure you ever face in your life. So don't do that to yourself. Get ahead of the game. Just takes a little bit of time. Okay, let's see what we got for questions. Gary, what's up? Rita, how you doing? Mike, what's up? David. Oh, by the way, President Trump has got a press. No. Well, I don't think it's really I think it's more a statement. But tonight at 6 Pacific, so basically in about 23 minutes. So I'm going to wrap this up here in a couple of minutes so you guys can all watch that. I think it might be possibly big news coming. We'll see. David, how you doing? Jane, hello. Danielle, what's happening? Here's Danielle, guys. You can get a hold of if you're interested in getting into the mentoring program. Jeremy, what's up? Jeannie, hello. Doris, how are you? It's been a while, Doris. Natalie, how you doing? Mildred, hello. Paula, Michelle, Debbie, how you doing? Keith, what's up? Scott, Libby, James, how you doing? William, Christine, Joy from Oklahoma, Susan, how are you? Michael, Kevin, Mansfield, how you doing? Joan, Susie, how are you? Is that it? Wow. No questions again tonight. You guys, I think this is the first time ever we've gone back-to-back days with no questions. I don't know if that's a good sign or a bad sign. You guys remember, keep liking and sharing these live chats. Our views are through the roof. We had one that was over 2,100 within 24 hours. Most of them are getting 1,000 views now. It's going to keep climbing, guys. It's all good. I keep saying over and over again, I'm going to keep saying it. I couldn't write a better script. Amazing stuff. Greatest time in history to be alive. We all should be thanking God that we're here. We're going to see some amazing things, guys. Think about it. Don't rush through this. Take a look around and really take a minute to appreciate what's happening in the world right now. Never happened before. It's never going to happen again. This 10 years in history, the last 5 and the next 5, are going to be the most studied in human history. There are going to be thousands of books written, hundreds of movies made. It's the start of man's greatest age. It'll be talked about forever. You'll be telling your grandkids, your great-grandkids, about this for years. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to wrap it up there, guys. Remember, Fear not. God and President Trump are 1,000% in control. We'll see you tomorrow night at 5 Pacific. God bless.